Christopher Murungaru was first appointed to the internal security docket in 2003 before being transferred to the transport docket in 2005, has been away from the limelight after his retirement from active politics. He remembers Kibaki as a liberal leader.
He gave you a free hand. He let you perform your duties without undue interference, without looking over your shoulder. All he expected were regular updates of how far you had gone.
And when things did not go as planned, like the 2005 humiliating referendum defeat, where the late President Kibaki and his allies, including Murungaru, voted in favor of a new constitutional dispensation, the president dissolved his cabinet.
It became almost impossible for the president to implement his agenda. And so he had to let go those who did not agree with him. He had to let them go. I personally felt that he did what he needed to do at the time.
Murungaru was thereafter appointed to the transport ministry, but pressure piled on him to resign following his implication in the multi-billion Anglo Leasing scandal, together with the then Justice Minister Kiraitu Murungi and Finance Minister David Mwai.
I shouted myself hollow during the Anglo Leasing scandal furor in the country, but nobody wanted to listen. All these contracts that were called Anglo Leasing were conceived, some executed during the Mwai era.
The court has since directed the former governance permanent secretary John Gidongo to pay Murungaru 27 million shillings for defamation in relation to the Anglo Leasing scandal.
And the judge agreed with me, and hence the decision. But managing a country is like fighting a war. There will always be casualties. Not every soldier who goes to war comes home. So if Kenya was better for my being a casualty, so be it. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to make myself a casualty for the betterment of the country.
He had only served for 3 years in Kibaki's government's first term.
So I was not a bitter person for exclusion from government, but I was bitter for the reasons that were manufactured.
However, he says his exit from cabinet came about after a sit-down with Kibaki, and it didn't affect their personal relationship.
Other than him being my boss in government, he was also my friend, and we have been friends for many years. We shared many Tusker exports and white caps over about 2 decades before we went into government. So there were no inhibitions between us. We agreed. He persuaded me and I was persuaded that the only way is for some of this furor to settle down, and in order not to jeopardize government programs and activities, is my absence from government.
He recounts Kibaki's sense of humor. For instance, a time when the then local government minister Karisa Maitha wanted to evacuate street families in Nairobi.
Minister from Mombasa, that is Karisa Maitha. He was minister for local government at the time, and he wanted to clear the streets of street families.
Just like Kibaki, Murungaru retired to a quiet life in Nyeri, involving himself in business and agriculture.
Maitha said, of course, I am very careful, because we do not know who the fathers of these street children are. And Kibaki said, na ni kweli, nikikuangalia naona moja wawili kona ya Mwai Avenue na Kenyatta Avenue hapo. Niliona moja wawili hapo. So he could come up with a joke to lighten the mood.
Milita Oletenges, NTV.